Reaction formation is a type of defense mechanism in which a person experiencing negative emotions reacts in a way far opposite to how they feel, rather than face the cause of the turmoil they possess. Examples that come to mind are those who smile despite being in great sadness, or act overly friendly despite being in a foul mood. These expressions are often given as a method of reassurance, or as the name suggests, defense, either to others or themselves. In recent years, we have been bombarded with the phrase toxic positivity. As said by Tabitha Kirkland, a psychologist at the University of Washington, toxic positivity is a way of responding to your own or someone else's suffering that comes across as a lack of empathy. It dismisses emotions instead of affirming them and could come from a place of discomfort. We cope with negative emotions in ways unique to us and our circumstance. Some keep themselves busy, some search out social interaction wherever they can find it. Some desperately try to reassure themselves by creating a facade of positivity, a band-aid to a long festering wound. A band-aid display, however, does nothing to stop an infection, the plague of burnout creeping ever closer to the heart and mind. I expect that you've likely heard some of the following phrases, they having become common and, even now, can still be seen printed on t-shirts, wooden decor, and other objects in stores. No bad days, or other people have it worse, just keep smiling, and the like. Saying these things, while they may stem from good intentions, likely do little more than guilt-trip their recipient, and do not reassure nor address the very real issues that must be faced for an individual to mature. There is a clear difference between toxic positivity and optimism, especially if that optimism is grounded within our own efforts. Attitude is not something that can be given to us, it is intrinsic, something we decide for ourselves. If we desire happiness, we must find that from within, step by step, small change by small change. We cannot expect others to give it to us. We must decide to continue to be or not to be content after reaching a goal, to be or not to be happy as we recognize the little things, to have or not to have empathy and a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. Even as our worlds come crashing down, as we make sometimes irreparable errors, as we are swallowed with regret, there is always something to be learned, something to cling to, or another goal to work towards. With tragedy, we can pause, treat our physical, emotional, social, even spiritual, if you believe in that, wounds, and move not onward, but forward. Injuries of any type leave scars. It's our job to figure out what to do with them. Some people cover them up, some try to hide them, some try to ignore them, some display them to teach or warn others. Once we decide on something to live for, to establish healthy control in our lives over the aspects that we reasonably can, and search for the bigger picture in what we are able, our perception of our lives can drastically improve. The road to understanding, to healing or self-actualization, to beginning goals, it can be bumpy. Unfortunately, sometimes, when trying to reassure ourselves, we forget about the fears of others. Without realizing it, and sometimes with even the best of intentions, one can accidentally treat the inner reality of our fellows as though it were invalid, unreal, or otherwise unfit for expression. This is toxic, positivity, or otherwise. How can a society grow if its individuals never feel as though they are safe to let their thoughts and expression be known? How can we become emotionally resilient, mature, and empathetic individuals if we are pressured, directly or indirectly, to silence? However, not all emotional responses are helpful, and if you feel like you'd like to change your response to or outlook on life, it is possible. To change a response, though, we must first tweak how we think. It takes time to restructure our thoughts. Behavior does not amend itself overnight. It takes countless days, months, often years to achieve. A constant effort and a real desire to change makes all the difference. It takes a lot for an argumentative, troublemaking child to become a calm, responsible student. It takes a lot for someone quick to anger with no desire to understand others to become a caring, empathetic individual. I would know I was both. While support from others can make all the difference, in the end, that change does not come from the outside. It must be a desire from within. Many will go their whole lives searching for meaning. However, I do not believe this to be the best approach. Instead of searching for meaning necessarily to survive, I believe that the determiner of our collective sanity is purpose. Meaning can be shaky, shifting, and uncertain. But purpose can always be found, even if it starts with something small, even if it begins with only, my pet needs to be fed tomorrow, and I know exactly the right way to do it, or the ferns need to be watered, and I know how much to give it. Even if it's simply, I want to hear another song, to see another TV show, to go for another run, to make this deadline, to finish another sketch. Anything that keeps your mind grounded in the present, but focused on the future. As I expect from most of us, I have met many different types of people in my brief moment of life. For just as many as I have met who are open-minded and deep-thinking, I have also found dreadful stubbornness and apparently no eye on the future or the direct causes of their actions whatsoever. These people, of whom to my surprise and occasional annoyance didn't seem to know what they truly believed. They had never begun the process of self-reflection, self-analysis, and a healthy criticism towards the things that they had long ago been convinced of without experiencing firsthand. They only repeated what they'd heard, and when asked to explain the why and the how, could not give an answer. When they were faced with an opinion that matched their own, they immediately jumped to add examples of their experiences, clearly shaped in a way most favorable to the current argument at hand. When faced with a difference of opinion, they decided it was something they could not abide, and thus might try to shut it down at once or argue in a way appealing only to emotion. They did not think with their minds, only with their immediate reaction, a reaction of tradition, of willful ignorance, and of immaturity regardless of their physical age. However, there are other types I have known. I have met even more who will continue to complain unceasingly, but never attempt a solution to their issues. And those who have no passions, who refuse to do more than the minimum in all aspects of their lives. When approaching at least the lettermost question, I say that, if nothing else, put effort into everything you do. When faced with a problem, pause for a moment and attempt to foresee potential solutions and outcomes, imagining the larger picture. Try to aim for the best result of whatever project or situation you find yourself in. Do what you can, within reason, to put your best foot forward in every aspect of your life, without stressing yourself out, especially not over an unattainable perfection. Among such an organic, complex system as society, perfection is practically non-existent. That doesn't mean we can't individually strive towards our versions of successes and aspirations. There is nothing wrong with seeing top marks or material wealth as an idea of success. However, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't even need to mean learned skills or number of connections. An individual's idea of success is all their own, unique as their fingerprints, and when they have discovered what they truly want in life, developed a reasonable goal, and reached it with likely great effort against all odds, this, to me, is true achievement. The journey, the struggle towards the goal, finite or infinite, is purpose. Whatever is at the end of your goal is your success, even if you haven't realized what your goal is yet. Perhaps it is wealth, respect, achievement, but perhaps just as valid is one's friendships, memories, personality, humor, life itself. To simply exist, to be healthy, and to be comfortable in one's own skin and circumstances, to be safe within ourselves and our community, what could be more valuable? We see what we wish to see in our lives. If we search for growth, we will find growth. If we search for despair, we will find it. Think hard and deeply about your ideas of success. Question yourself, question everything, not in a nitpicking, negative way, but analyze and evaluate. Ask questions for the sake of discovering your reality. It is only through a process of deeply questioning our most basic assumptions that we make discoveries, that we discover what we truly believe, and we grow as individuals. It is through the darkness of discomfort that the light of advancement shines through, for, as the famous witticism goes, without shadow there cannot be light. Time ticks forward and rests for no one. Please take a moment to stop, breathe, and reflect. Be true to yourself and others. How do you wish to see the world? Thank you.